Good. Yep, okay, we are ready, boys. But anyways, guys, welcome to the top 10 flip effect monsters of all time in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, first off, I do want to mention a lot of you guys have been talking about other monsters that are great that have an effect when they flip. That does not count as a flip effect monster. Some of those excellent cards that you guys gave as examples would be something like Fossil Dyna or Yugioh Armor. These are great cards, but they will not make it on the list because they are not flip monsters. They have an effect when they flip, but in order to be considered a flip monster, it has to say flip on the card. The reason why is because there's a lot of cards that say it has to be a flip effect monster. Otherwise, it just doesn't count. But anyways, let's get started with some noteworthy mentions. Before we jump into the top 10, a lot of you guys are mentioning really good cards, but they didn't quite make it to the top 10. And let's go ahead and go over those right now. So anyways, first off, Nipomo. You can already loop it with two of these cards. It's just a really great card overall. But it gets outclassed by one card that it's not as good as Nipomo, but I do want to say it deserves a list on the top 10 of the best ones, simply because it's so iconic once we get into it. Alright, other noteworthy mentions, Absorbing Jar, pretty crazy effect, being able to destroy a bunch of stuff, and then you're going to draw one card for each. A lot of artifacts players uses, a lot of just random decks play this card because you can get certain cards in the graveyard, and then certain cards would be able to proc when you have like 10 spell and traps, or 10 spells, 10 traps. And some monsters could be set in the back row, and therefore you can go for things like Cephalon. So this card opens up a lot of things that aren't necessarily conventional, but it definitely does work, and it's pretty cool. This is a very old card, but it was a really cool card. Its flip effect would destroy all level 4 monsters your opponent controls. Back in the day, before the XYZ, before the Synchros, a lot of people just ran a lot of beaters. Like they did, summon a beater, equip it with like an Axe of Despair, United We Stand. Old school Yu-Gi-Oh! 4-star Ladybug of Doom was a pretty awesome card. Next up, Falco was a really good card, but there's a better Shaddoll card that deserves a spot for the top 10. But Shaddoll Falco is definitely one of the better ones. Shaddoll Falco, Beast, heck, majority of the Shadolls would probably be on the top 10 list if, I wanted to just, cover Shadolls. But a lot of the Shaddoll cards, they're definitely like the top, maybe like 20-ish. They all really deserve a spot. They're really good, but I just wanted to put one Shaddoll in there, which it's not Falco. Falco is definitely there. Also, Squamata, and then also Beast. They all definitely deserve like spots on the top 20. Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Now, flip effects right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! Aren't really too hot. Let's be honest here. Like, with the exception of maybe Fiber Jar, Cyber Jar, which are banned, or maybe even Morphing Jar, we're not really playing flip effects this day and age, just because they're just not good enough. They're way too slow. But Hamster was good in X-Sabers. People played it in Light Sworn. There was a old build called the Celestia Raikou build. And what you do, you set a Hamster turn 1, you'd set the Raikou, you'd flip the Raikou, destroy cards, and then you tribute for Celestia. So you'd be able to pop 3 cards, and you'd be able to mill like 7 cards. It was a really, really, really big combo. Really, really old, but yeah, it was there. And then Morphing Jar number 2, this opened up a lot of FTKs, OTKs. But nonetheless, actually I believe in the TCG, it's actually still banned. If we go ahead and check out the list, you can see it actually is banned in the TCG. In the OCG, however, it is not banned, but it's only really used in cheesy types of decks anyways. But nonetheless, it definitely deserves a spot here on like the noteworthy mentions. Needleworm, Mill used to win. I mean, it has top protection before people have won with deck out. Needleworm is a thing, and just real simple. A really good side deck card back when Gladiator Beasts were popular is Gels of Dark Demise. So you get to flip, take control of a monster your opponent controls until the end of that turn of this card effect is activated. So basically it was used in Gladiator Beasts as a side deck. Really good card. Then Mask of Darkness, just an overall decent card that a lot of people played in the games. Definitely deserves mention here. And then next up, Penguin Soldier. Ooh, really good card. It was really tough not putting this on the top 10. But I love this card. It's a really, really good card. Probably one of the best penguins in the game. Really good effect too. But yeah, again, it just didn't make it to the cut. Same thing with Hane. Really good card. Now this card was actually side decked in a lot of different decks. Green Kappa. So it's a full effect that lets you target 2 set spawn trap cards on the field, and you get to destroy them. Just a decent card. A lot of people did side deck in the past. And then Des Koala, it actually has one. Like some of these older cards, that have flip effects, it was just a burn card in general. Yeah, definitely just a noteworthy mention. Other noteworthy mention cards, Summon of Illusions, just a really unique card. It has a little bit of potential in the future. Once again, some of these cards just have a lot of potential in the future. With Guard Dog, it's really only used in one deck, which was the Prediction Princesses, and you'd be able to lock your opponent essentially because you can keep on flipping the monsters, you know, you'd be able to flip something face up and also flip something face down, so you kind of lock your opponent out of special summoning. There's also Whirlwind Weasel that can lock your opponent out of playing spell cards, which can, you know, completely destroy a pendulum deck. But that's it for the noteworthy mentions that I think that were, you know, really good, but again, they just didn't quite make it to the top 10. Now, jumping into the actual top 10, finally, we have Pot of the Forbidden or the Pot of Taboos. It has some of the more crazy effects. It has effects of a bunch of banned cards. So you can either draw 2 cards, you can return all spawn trap cards on the field, so like a giant Churnade. You can destroy all monster opponent control, so it's a Regeki. And then you can look at your opponent's hand and then also shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck. So it's got a lot of options, and you know, it has that Pot of Greed effect. Plus, it's got decent stats: 3,000 defense, 2,000 attack. Now, I know that it's not meta and not every deck plays this. It's really only usable in the Prediction Princess deck with Coin Norma. But overall, it's still a really good card, and in the future, if they ever make a really easy way to special summon flip effects, then the card would definitely be good. But it's still definitely one of the better flip effect monsters in the game. Next up, I gotta give it to my man, Man-Eater Bug. This card, it has to be on the top 10 list. I know that there's cards like Old Vindictive Magician, there are cards like Night is Silent, that are very similar, and like I said before, Night is Silent is better, but Man-Eater Bug is too classic, it's too much of an iconic card, it has to be on the top 10. Next up, Gravekeeper Spy. For some of you guys who didn't know, this card saw play in a lot of different decks. Just because it was 2,000 defense, which was back in the day, like, you'd set this, it would survive. There are a lot of different decks that just played Gravekeeper Spy, but it's definitely one of the best Gravekeeper monsters, and a lot of different decks played it. Even in Cat, back in the day, there was a thing called like a Rescue Cat OTK, and there were builds that would play Spy, and you'd basically set Spy, and you go into a lot of monsters, summon a card, you just go off. It was just an excellent card overall, because it was a body that was 2,000 defense, and you got another one. So it opened up the doors to a lot of different things. Back in the day, 2000, like it's kind of like an iconic card for a lot of people that remembered Gravekeeper Spy. Next up, Magical Merchant. So many FTKs. Well, technically, like you'd have to wait till your opponent's deck starts, but pretty much it's been in a lot of FTKs, OTKs, a lot of cheese decks. This card is just an overall great card, and it'll probably see some play in the future as well when we get some new archetypes that don't really care about running spell traps. They just like dump everything, you know. Really good stuff. Next up, Shadal Dragon. Wow, like it's definitely the best Shadal. I think in most of our agreement in terms of what you have to do to summon it. Like Shadal Beast, yeah, it's a really good card as well. But the thing is Shadal Beast you have to tribute, and not every deck could play Shadal Beast. But a lot of different decks played Mathematician just for the Shadal Dragon. You know, it's at 1900. It was able to destroy a spell and trap card. It was able to bounce a card back. Like this card offered a lot for what it required for. I mean, you just set the card, bounce back a card, 1900 body. It's just overall, like you can't argue with Shadal Dragon. It's definitely one of the best Shadals in terms of like how you have to summon and stuff like that. But like I said, Falco is a really good card. It was really tough to decide which Shadal I wanted to put on the top 10 list because I didn't want to put too many Shadals. I just wanted to put one. But Shadal Falco is definitely really good too. It was either between this or Falco. I guess some people could argue Skomata could let you choose both, but I mean overall you're going to choose one of these. I mean I remember back in the day it was all about summon Mathematicians, send Skomata, send Falco, set the Falco to get Skomata. Like it was a really good simple little play. But Falco got you back all of the fusions, but you had to have the fusions, and like I said, Dragon was more versatile, and that's the reason why I'm putting Dragon on the top 10 over Falco, because more decks ran Dragon. That weren't just Shadals. With Falco, you pretty much had to play Shadals. Next up, over here at number 5, Raikou Life's 100. It's just another versatile card, really good card in general. To be able to out certain things, plus it had a really good flip effect. And on top of that, it let you send cards to the graveyard. Not very many decks had access to just milling cards. Some zombies builds, back when Diva Zombies were a thing, people played Raikou. It dealt with oppression. Real Oppression. It was a very good card, very strong, and it just dealt with some problematic cards. Certain times, yeah, I will admit you would just lose, but when you're playing certain decks that revolve around special summoning, like you need to get rid of that card. And you know, back in the day when MST was at 1, you know, it was a thing. Next up at number 4, Magician of Faith. Wow, like this card, it's a really strong card. And if we go to the TCG, actually, is it still banned in the TCG? Whoops, let's go to TCG. It is actually unbanned in the TCG. But yeah, it's just an overall really awesome card. But it's only as good as the spells are in the game. And right now, there's no spell card that every deck is going to be playing multiple copies of. However, now, a lot of people are like, you know what? It's such a good card because you can get back Pot of Desires. Now, the only problem with that is you're losing your normal summon, and it's a flip effect, so it's like, you know, there's two downsides to that already. And on top of that, like, with the whole Pot of Desires, it's not quite Pot of Greed. You're going to be decking out relatively soon. But nonetheless, excellent card, definitely deserves to be in here. Alright, so number 3, we got Morphing Jar. It's just, it can completely change games. Like, whether you're playing Dark Worlds, whether you're just playing a deck in general. Like, Morphing Jar has always been that card that can maybe be one of those comeback cards. And, you know, now it is actually banned in the TCG. Actually, in the OCG, it's actually at 1, but in the TCG, yeah, it is banned. There's a lot of deck out decks with Morphing Jar as well. But next up, going to number 2, we have Cyber Jar. This card stole so many games that it really shouldn't have, but if you guys haven't seen this card, it's a relatively old card, so let's go ahead and go into its effect, because, like I said, it is an older card. A lot of you guys are probably newer to the game, so you don't remember some of these older cards, which I totally understand, because, yeah, you know, a lot of people jump into the game, you know, or have jumped into the game within the past couple of years, and, you know, Cyber Jar has been banned for quite some time. So anyways, it's flip effect, you destroy all monsters on the field, then both players reveal the top 5 cards from their decks, then supposed to summon all of them revealed. 4 lower monsters in face-up attack position or face-down defense position. Also, add any remaining cards to their hand. So basically, it was like a dark hole, and then you get to reset on your turn. It's by far the most insane card that's a flip effect that can completely just like win a game. But yeah, Cyber Jar definitely deserves a spot at number 2. And finally, at number 1, for the best flip effect monster of all time, D-Boys. Wow, oh my gosh, one of the greatest secret rares. Flip effect, you can special summon. Nah, just kidding. Okay, D-Boys is just a prank, gotcha man, social experiment where Joey Salad's at. But anyways, D-Boys. This card was a secret rare, and it's a flip effect that says you can special summon any number of D-Boys from your deck and face up attack position. Then you take 1,000 damage for each one of these summon. Why was this card a secret rare? I don't know. D-Boys, too good. But no, really, number 1 spot, Cyber Jar. Flip effect. Each player shovels all cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck, then draw 5 cards. It was basically like a panic button. I'm losing the game, set Cyber Jar, alright, we're ready to go. And then you're able to go off with all of your cards. Even in today's meta, I want to say that people would still be playing Cyber Jar, but Cyber Jar has to take the spot for number 1 because it's so insane. Because you could be at such a huge disadvantage and you can activate that. Whereas Cyber Jar, there are certain times where, you know, I mean, it does special summon. Like, you get to decide what you summon in defense or attack. But, I mean, Cyber Jar and Cyber Jar, they're really close as far as, like, what deserves. But, like, Cyber Jar was just like, oh my gosh. Like, some people would go off with all their cards and be like, set Cyber Jar. Like, it's just way more annoying to run into than anything in the game. But, yeah, that is our list for the top 10 flip effect monsters. If you guys disagreed on anything, hey, let me know what your top 10 is down below in the comment section. But anyways, that's the top 10 list that me and the stream agreed on. But hope you guys enjoyed that vid. If you did, make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap. And I'm signing out. Alright.